Hey guys, so about 6 to 8 weeks ago I in fact I actually received the data from the fitness portal with all the information on my DNA and how I could improve myself within my sport, how I could maybe mitigate some of the health risks or potential health risks that I could have based on my genes, and what supplementation I could start to take to improve my physique and my overall health. And to be honest with you, after making quite a few changes, I'm actually seeing a lot of benefits, and I'm going to kind of go into that a little bit with you over the next couple of videos and give you a little bit of insight, and maybe that's something you maybe want to invest in. I definitely think that DNA testing for sports performance is something that's going to be a big thing in the future, and probably relatively soon. So we'll go into it a little bit now. So the first one I'm going to go into with regards to some of the benefits that I found from using the fitness portal was actually recommendations of supplements to use for potential health risks. Actually, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I had a blood pressure reading of 173/91. Now, I'm a fairly active person. I have used performance enhancements, but my blood pressure has always been in check. Every year, bang on. Whether I had an infection at that time or not, or a cold or something that was putting it off, it was definitely high, and it was something that I was worried about. I actually looked at my potential risks, and high blood pressure was one of them within my genetics. Since taking one of the recommended supplements from Strom, I don't have high blood pressure anymore. I'm back in perfect range. So that's the first benefit. Okay, so the next potential health risk that they outlined was a slight risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, that's something that runs within my family, something I definitely don't want to get, but being a bodybuilder and pushing food in the off season and pushing my body weight up, it is always something that you are at risk of. One of the recommendations was to start supplementing in the supplement called berberine. I started doing that about 8 weeks ago, and to be honest, I am now carrying a leaner physique. I'm able to push my food up, and my blood sugar is in control. So I think, again, thanks to them, they've outlined a supplement that I could start using that's had a massive benefit for me. And I did know about berberine prior, but it's just something that I wasn't taking. Okay, and finally, on the health risks sort of scenario with the fitness portal, liver and substance metabolism was an increased risk, or slight risk. I can't actually remember, it'll come up in a second. So this is something that I was actually aware of because of previous blood tests. One thing I noticed was my ALT levels were always quite high, especially coming out of preps, which they would be anyway, but it was a reading that I was not happy with. I had a reading actually of 122 on an ALT score, which if you look at the general population is around about 55, so it was something I was pretty scared about. Now, being slightly bigger and training and doing what I do on a day-to-day basis, I was always going to have a higher number than 55, but 122 was just something I wasn't quite happy with. So one of the coolest things that was outlined was some of your gifted attributes you have as an athlete or as a person, you know what I mean? And they outlined for me that I was gifted in muscle power and muscle stamina. Muscle mass and muscle power. My stamina wasn't great, but my VO2 max oxygen uptake was a rare within a rare group, and I was gifted in that part. So I thought, well, I didn't really believe that, so I thought I would test it. So I've done 2 tests over a 4-week period, and actually now my VO2 max is in a superior range. I'm sitting about 61 now, and I've never done that sort of testing before. So it just shows you that you might be good at something, but you don't know, and that's something that the fitness portal can outline.